Hello, welcome to the live. Talking about Jasmine Crockett today. Been talking about Jasmine Crockett a little bit recently, but I kind of want to focus and get into it today about Jasmine Crockett, James Talarico, and what the difference is, and why it matters what people are saying about it. So, as far as I can tell, we've got two great candidates, is the main theme. Like, the top of the trend about James Talarico and Jasmine Crockett is we've got two great candidates. I'll put it this way, since we're still waiting for people to show up. James Talarico, JT, Justin Timberlake, Jasmine Crockett, JC, Jesus Christ. Like, seriously, Jasmine Crockett is as much better than James Talarico as Jesus Christ is better than Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake might be a nice guy. He might be able to dance. But Jesus Christ, okay? So that's how much better Jasmine Crockett is than James Talarico. Or I'll put it this way, James Talarico's trash. I'm not saying Justin Timberlake's trash. I'm just saying James Talarico's trash. Justin Timberlake doesn't exist in a space where he's preventing the ascendancy of our most deserved first woman president of the United States, you know? Like, Justin Timberlake might have a rival or competitor, Beyonce or something, who he's taking some spotlight away from. Hey, hello, Joseph. Are you in Texas, by the way? I somehow had the impression you were in Texas. I was talking about Jasmine Crockett and James Talarico and how it's always been suspicious. Yeah, I got my haircut. How do you like it? And I got a Cash App. It's always been suspicious to me the way people talk about Ohio. Okay, well, you can still help. Have you heard of the conversation between James Talarico or about James Talarico and Jasmine Crockett? It's always been suspicious to me that everybody always says, we've got two great candidates. They're always trying to put James Talarico on par with Jasmine Crockett. Thanks. Yeah, I thought so too. They're always trying to put them on the same level, which to me is a way of trying to justify or legitimize James Talarico, give him a whole lot of credit that he doesn't deserve. I've never heard of the dude before he started running against Jasmine Crockett. I've heard of Jasmine Crockett like everybody has for years. She's the most famous Democratic politician. So I was mad when they said she was running for Senate. I'm like, she should be running for president. Why is she wasting time with the Senate? Now, if she runs for Senate in Texas and wins really big, and everybody says, well, Texas isn't big enough for her, Jasmine Crockett has to run for president, then yeah, it's a stepping stone, it's good. Although she has to run for president now. So it's like, win the Senate, sure, you're officially the senator now, which gives you more credential. It helps your presidential run to be the senator, even if you don't spend a day being the senator, because you have to immediately start running for president. Oh, thanks. They say I look 20 years younger with my haircut. Thank you. I look, 90% less mad scientist, too. I bet. Thanks. Glad y'all like the haircut. Are you a fan of Jasmine Crockett as well? Because we're talking about how Jasmine Crockett is not just as good as James Talarico or way better than James Talarico, but the fact that people even want to put him on the same level is very suspicious. And I'm talking about suspicious to the point we can't trust you anymore. We can't listen to you anymore if you've put them on the same level. And so start differentiating, start distinguishing between the two and who you really support and why. Because to me, anybody who supports James Talarico, the only argument is he's white. He's a white man. A white man has a better chance. Fuck all that shit. You're talking about chances against the Epstein class, against Ted Cruz, I think? Is Ted Cruz the one whose seat they're taking? Correct me if I'm wrong. Hello, Crystal. That's actually one of only things positive. Jasmine is power. Well, Jasmine is famous and powerful, and Trump's afraid of her. When you think about who Trump has called low IQ the most, Jasmine Crockett's top of the list. Ilhan Omar maybe, but I don't think Ilhan Omar can run for president. He's just afraid of Ilhan Omar because she's awesome too. The only reason pushing for James is he's Christian, and they're trying to again rule more. Yeah, That's crazy. It's crazy that he's in the race, that he's not ashamed of himself and dropped out. Like, if I was him and I'd been running for Senate and then Jasmine Crockett got into the race, I would do the respectful thing and just say, okay, I'm done. We're not going to have a productive primary. I'll drop out because you're the candidate. I'm going to support you. You know, so presumably, if she beats him in the primary, he'll say, I support you, and his supporters will support her, right? Skip a step. Save everybody the trouble. I mean, again, if there was a productive debate, the campaign is probably bringing Jasmine Crockett some more attention to some more people, but everybody already knew Jasmine Crockett. The primary is bringing Talarico a lot more attention. I'd never heard of him before the primary. Yeah, he should have dropped out. Thank you, Joseph Bearbaum. And why hasn't he dropped out? To appeal to the a white man has a better chance of winning clan. To appeal to the a white man has a better chance of winning clan. And that's what we should call these people, and makes people ashamed of having ever equated the two. I've seen a lot of content creators equating the two. Like the last one I watched was a guy, I'd never seen him before. He had a big old sign, the title of his video is Why I'm Supporting Jasmine Crockett. But one of the first things he said when I clicked the video is, you know, he's all about why he's supporting Jasmine Crockett, but he's like, we got two great candidates. Why am I hearing that so much? Why am I hearing we got two great candidates as much as I'm hearing, you know, just having your name appear in the Epstein files does not amount to or imply criminal behavior? Yeah, it does. And we don't have two great candidates. We have Jasmine Crockett and we have apparently a Klansman. Those aren't two great candidates. Jasmine Crockett is a great candidate. A Klansman, no. That's a bad candidate. That's somebody that you're letting the Klan try to step in. You know, just invite AIPAC, you know? Why not just get you know, what's her name? Deborah Messing to be your candidate. It's racism on display as always. Thank you, Joseph, because I haven't looked into them enough to see if there's a policy difference. But I also assume if there was a policy difference, people would have talked about it. That there's not a policy difference. There's a white man versus a black woman. And whether it's racism, whether it's fear, whether it's considering everybody else's racism in Texas. Dude, when are you going to stop everybody else's racism in Texas? When are you going to go against everybody else's racism in Texas and say, look, we beat you. Mamdani beat Islamophobia. Islamophobia is strong in America. It's not like Islamophobia is on its last legs. But Mamdani defeated Islamophobia by winning that election. So why not defeat racism? Not like it's gone for good, but why not get a win against racism? Like we got to go in against the cheeseheads. Why not get a win against racism while you're there, while racism is on display? Thank you so much, Joseph Bearpaw, for intelligently engaging in my conversation. Let's see if we can get somebody else doing that. Okay, here we go. Somebody's talking about Talarico. But they can't spell Klansman. Okay, come on. When I said Talarico is a Klansman, I spelled it with a K. You spelled it with a C, and you're acting like you're complaining. Like, you're proving my point, dude. All you're doing is telling on yourselves. Cash Patel, nobody believes your story. You're just pateling on yourself. Cash Patel. Dude, Talarico's a Klansman to me. Okay? You're going to sit here and say, I'm voting for Jasmine Crockett, so people will listen to you. But Talarico's not a Klansman? Well, let's debate it. Okay? This was all about pushing out strong women out of seats of power. Sounds like something the Klan would do to me. Crystal says, sounds like if you were very passionate, have you joined party? I guess you support the candidate. Do I guess support the... Join the party? It's the Democrats. You only have two major choices in America. What party are you in Canada? I don't even know what the names of the Canadian parties are, honestly. I'm American. If we're not bombing you, you don't exist in our geography. No, Talarico is not a Klansman. Okay, so we've got Joseph Bearpaw, who agrees with my principles but doesn't conclude that Talarico is a Klansman. Loki saying, or not Loki, the other guy was saying he knows Talarico is not a Klansman. Islamophobia, what do you mean? Nice grammar. Islamophobia is a word. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what your complaint is. I'm voting for humanity. Well, thanks, Captain Save-A-Ho-Ho-Ho. And say hello to Santa Claus for me. Senate majority and House members in Congress pushing out strong women. Done with all these satanic lobbyists. Good point. I heard you the first time, dipshit. Was it you, Lukey, who were saying that? Who was saying that before? No, that was Gun. Is that person still here? Who thinks Talarico's not a Klansman? So the thing about being a Klansman today is you can be the really obvious Klansman, a MAGA Trump-Hootenier. You can be a MAGA Trump-Hootenier who denies that they're a Klansman. It acts like, oh, I'm horrified and ashamed, but you're just as much of a Klansman. Or you can be a MAGA Trump-Hootenier who pretends to be a Democrat who runs against Jasmine Crockett. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's gradations of it, and you don't accept any of it. No one hates, well, no, so I shouldn't say no one hates Indian. I don't hate Indian people. You have a lot of Trump-Hooteniers who hate Indian people. He isn't. He's actually been following him a while, just like Jasmine. I guess my point is, who the hell is James Talarico, right? Never heard of this dude before. Where the hell did he come from? He's a state senator, I think, and he's been a Democrat. He's supposed to have the good ideals, right? I mean, are there policy differences? Again, the less policy differences, the less, principal differences there are between Jasmine Crockett and James Talarico, the more it's about him being white, which makes him even more racist. Does that make sense? Like, if he's supposed to be as progressive as Jasmine Crockett, then he should be progressive enough to know that he's not making there's not a debate going on between them that gets their message out to the public more. I do not know if there's a policy difference. People who seem to be at least somewhat aware of who they are do not know if there's a policy difference. He's just a teacher. Oh wow, he wasn't even a state legislator? I thought he was a state legislator. I don't care. To me, he's a Klansman. To me, yeah, he can have been playing the role of a Democrat, of a whatever. He can be saying this and saying that. But you're a Klansman if you're running to be the white man that Texas will more likely elect than Jasmine Crockett. The fact that he didn't step away made me leery. Me too. Again, I never even heard of him until she entered the race. I didn't even know he was there and was in the race. But as soon as I heard him, I'm like, well, who's this loser? Why would he stay in the race at this point? And, you could say, oh, it's his greed for power. Well, that's not a progressive. If his greed for power is more important than his progressive values, then he's not a progressive. You say, oh, it's about being a white man. Well, if your racism is more important than your progressive values, then you're not a progressive. You can say, oh, it's about recognizing everybody else is racist in Texas. Well, if you're not going to go up against that, then you're not a progressive. Jasmine Crockett's going up against that by her very nature and by the things she says and does. I don't think he's going against that. He is progressive, but not enough. That's my whole point. Here's the litmus test. Impeach, remove, execute. You can get plenty of people. You can get not plenty. You can get almost plenty enough people to say impeach. You can get plenty of people to say impeach, remove. You can get a lot of people to say impeach, remove. But who's right now saying impeach, remove, execute? The trial's going to include a treason trial, the punishment which is execution. Who's saying that? I'm saying it. But I'm looking for every single public official that we elect to have that be their bumper sticker. Impeach, remove, execute. And I'm looking for the first politician to come out and say it. I put it in plenty of candidates' comments. Haven't had a single one of them like it yet. But I'm just looking at the consequences for treason, law and order. I'm just looking at some law and order shit. What's up? We got Millhouse. We got Cap City Millhouse. Check the flavor. Suck it in. What's up? What's up's in the chat. Capital City Millhouse is in the chat. The church always comes first with many Christians. Well, that's a good point, because I did title this Church of Judas. So let's do the Church of Judas for a minute. Jesus set Judas aside. Jesus, who's from the goddess, by the way. Jesus from the goddess, the real Jesus. The real Jesus set Judas aside to replace all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. To end patriarchy, Christianity, all of it, to end every church, replace those with what's called the Church of Judas. Yeah, they should obey international laws too. They should stop the war crimes and all sorts of stuff. So we're replacing all their churches. So their Christianity is bullshit. The Christianity that they want to support Talarico for, and what, Jasmine Crockett's not Christian? What is she, atheist or something? Is she Muslim? What is Jasmine Crockett? Oh, she's black Christian. I'm sure that doesn't count. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, Jasmine Crockett's not a Christian and James Talarico is a Christian? Is that the difference? Is that the difference besides being a white person and a black person? The difference besides being a man and a woman? This is about making the Christian pulpable with a Democratic vote. They're both Christians, so there's not a difference between. But he's a white Christian and she's a black Christian, so it's about racism. I mean, it really is about racism. And if he's basically running on racism, I want to appeal to the racists. I've got to do everything. I'm going to say everything in such a way as to not make it that I'm obviously only appealing to the racists. But that's his lane, is to appeal to the racists, because he's not more Christian than she is. In fact, she's probably more Christian than him, because again, the Church of Judas is going to replace all Christianity, and she, the black church overall, is closer to the Church of Judas, the final form of Christianity, by far, than the white churches. So, like, they're getting replaced. Thanks, Khabib. I'll pin your comment. You know how to get a comment pinned. Pinned like Jesus. Hey, buddy, are you gay or bi? If so, can I please impregnate you? No. Unfortunately. I guess I'm lesbian, but I'm not bi. Sorry. Yet. I mean, people change, right? How hot are you? I don't know. Thanks for the compliment, though. I don't think you're that hot. I mean, no offense. I just, my intuition is that you're not that hot. What farm? Hello, Jackie Chan. Welcome to the live. So we're talking about Jasmine Crockett, JC, and James Talarico, JT, Jesus Christ, and Justin Timberlake. And we're talking about, hello. We're talking about replacing Christianity with the Church of Judas, but we're also talking about replacing white supremacy with democracy and love and all these good things. My friend became trans to be a lesbian. I mean, okay, well, awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like that. I'm a little older than a lot of people today. I'm older than most everybody today, come to think of it. But yeah, in my day, I considered myself, I still consider myself female. Okay, so the person who made the wife and ass comment. Let's just see what this is. Oh well. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry. Are y'all still there? I'm gonna have to shut down the live and make a phone call. And read what you had to say. Everybody left. Okay, good. Oh, Joseph's still here. Come back when I reset it. Who did Trump have removed from the State of the Union or pointed at and attacked? I'm guessing Al Green. So Al Green had a sign that said, "Black people are not apes." And there was a man who was probably next to Trump as he walked by, I think, that sign, I think it was as he was walking out, as Al Green was walking out of the State of the Union, a man on the Republican aisle, if you can call it a man, a Trump boutonniere tried to rip the sign away from him. That's how strongly he felt that he thinks black people are apes. Like, so it was Al Gore. Al Green's the one who I don't know who he yelled at. I didn't watch the whole thing. Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. So if he yelled at Al Gore, then I didn't see that part. But the part I thought you were talking about was Al Green had a sign that said black people are not apes. A racist thought that black people felt so strongly that he thinks black people are apes that he tried to rip the sign away because he thought that if he could rip the sign away, it would prove to everyone that he thinks black people are apes. So yeah, they're just super, 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 super duper racist. They're just super duper racist. So um I'm gonna call this phone number back, and I'll come back and do more of a live. I'll probably do more on Jasmine Crockett and James Talarico. He verbally attacked and had Al Green escorted out. Okay, so it was Al Green that that he attacked. I'm sure he attacked other people too. But yeah, he attacked Al Green because Al Green was trying to tell him not to be racist, and he could not stand that. Trump is so fucking racist that he had to have him assaulted. Hello, Dead Man System. Nice to see you too. I was talking about how much better how much better James Talarico is than Trump. A little bit, you know. No, I was talking about how much better Jasmine Crockett is than James Talarico. That's a lot. Jasmine Crockett's a lot better than James Talarico, and that's why we're going to get them elected. What's the question? And he verbally attacked Ilhan Omar. Yeah. He's always attacking Ilhan Omar. He's scared of Ilhan Omar, too. She can't even run for president. I don't think she's a native born American. Jasmine Crockett can run for president, though, which is why he calls her low IQ all the time. One of my top 3 things about Jasmine Crockett, that she's progressive. I mean, at this point, I think, like, if you'd asked me years ago, what are my top 3 things about Jasmine Crockett? I'd say progressive. I'd say that's one of the top things. Her outspokenness, or I can't think of the word. I'm not as articulate as she is. So her uh, vocality, I can't think of the word, but like all of the way she speaks, and just brilliant. So my top 3 things about her are being progressive, being brilliant, and being able to speak brilliantly. Those are 3 different things, I guess. Although the last 2 are kind of the same. But a lot of brilliant people, like I stumble a lot. I'm brilliant, but I stumble a lot in speaking. She speaks brilliantly, and she's got great rhetorical power, and progressive. But now I got to just put American above that. You just got to say American. Like, the fact that she's an American, puts her on the complete other end of the spectrum than Donica Patinsky. She's not a traitor. Jasmine threatening their power, status quo. So yeah, it rises above. I'm not going to say which of those other 3 things. I'm not going to say, oh, it's less important to me that she's progressive, or it's less important to me that she's a genius, or it's less important to me that she can speak really well. It's not. None of those things become less important to me. But become an American becomes the top qualification when your opponent is a traitor. So yeah, just be an American. And other people are Americans too, but she's more American, or she's more powerfully American by being brilliant and having that speak. Jasmine is no easy political target. I'm Asian into Buddha. Sounds great to me. Me too. I mean, I'm not Asian, but I'm into Buddha. So, Jasmine threatening their power status quo. That's why they dislike her. They don't have anything to dislike about her. They just have to appeal to racism. Okay, so I got a cat who's going to go fucking nuts, and I'm going to go deal with that. And then I got to call this person back, and then I'm going to come back and do the live stream some more. I want to do Tai Chi. They do Tai Chi at a church in my neighborhood, and I was thinking about going down there and doing Tai Chi with them. That's so cool. I want to do Tai Chi. That'd be awesome. Well, thank y'all for being here, and support Jasmine Crockett. Go ahead and put some content out there saying, hey, support Jasmine Crockett, or who do you guys like? But I mean, I think to even equate them is playing their game too much, and just never give in to the Klan, never give in to white supremacists. And even if white supremacists have a great looking candidate, what happened to that? Oh, I forgot his name. The guy that had the Nazi tattoo that, was otherwise doing great, but then he had the Nazi tattoo. And it just, see you later, Spirit Brother. It's good to see you, Joseph. We'll talk about stuff more when I get back. Support Jasmine, absolutely. And put some stuff out there. Put some content out there. Some comments out there. Put some content out there. put some stuff out there to help support Jasmine Crockett. You'll feel better about it. So, thanks. And yeah, you might not live in Texas, but you can still tell people your opinion about stuff. I have a quick question, if I may. Hopefully, you're open to sharing with me your great followers. How far can you? Oh, and yeah, I don't have that on YouTube. But thanks for your interest.